invention that started right here in Corning.
I was 14 at the time.
I signed checks the first few years.
So I'm with my father, my grandfather, and my brother.
From the earliest days that I could remember.
One of the things that oral history is about, connecting the individual to the social. Because oral history is based on the one-to-one conversation and narrative and life stories and personal memory. So it works with individual documentation, with individual expression. But then, if we call it history because we attempt to start from these personal, from these individual narratives and memories, to reconstruct some kind of a social framework, to bridge the dialogue between the personal and the social. Oral history began rather naively but idealistically as an attempt to get closer to the roots of what they called then experience. Let's go to the eyewitnesses. Let's go to the participants. Let's go to the persons that lived it, and we will have access to the actual experience. In narrative, the one thing that we do have to work on is a verbal construct that people create on the basis of the memory of their experiences. If we're working with language, if we're working with narrative, if we're working with the oral, with the dialogue between the interviewer and the interviewee, what we're striving for is less a factual reconstruction than an attempt to elaborate and communicate meaning, to an attempt to create interpretation and to make sense out of the lived experience. And in this effort to generate meaning in narrative and dialogue, imagination plays as important a role as accurate factual narrative. Imagination becomes a fact in itself, and language becomes a fact in itself, as historians manage to distinguish what is imagined and what actually happened, if that is possible. But things happen in people's minds. Things happen in people's souls, and they find a place in the narrative. There is a therapeutic implication in narrative, but oral history's role is not therapeutic. Oral history field is history. Find out how the culture and the social relationships evolved through time. When I called people up and asked them for an interview, I never said, I'm here to study your culture. Because studying means, top down. I instinctively said, I'm here to learn about your culture. And oral history is a learning and listening experience. There's no technique to oral history. What makes it possible is a recognition of difference and a desire to learn about it and to listen to other people.